When I was growing up, my dad and I didn't have a huge amount in common. Then, as I got older, I really got into movies and found out he liked films as well. And so we started going to watch movies together, and we still do it all the time. And my friends are always slightly surprised, especially when I tell them some of the movies that I'm going to see with my father. Like, I went to see this movie called Giulietta, which is an Almodovar movie. It's really good, but it's quite sexually explicit. And I was telling my friend about it, and my friend was like, how could you go and see that film with your dad? And I was like, there is no problem with me going to see movies with my dad. Because my dad and I, a number of years ago, crossed a threshold that we can never return to. Because in 2012, my father and I went to see a film by the director of 12 Years a Slave called Shame. That is the sound of a bunch of people who have seen Shame. Now, if by for some reason you haven't seen Shame, let me give you a quick rundown. It is about a man with a crippling sex addiction, and it has some of the most explicit sex scenes ever committed to film, right? Now, in the week leading up to this film, I knew what it was about, so I said to my dad, there's no way I'm coming to see this movie with you, right? This will be too much, this will be absolutely awful. And my dad was like, no, it'll be fine. And I was like, no, it'll be too much. He went, no, it'll be fine. No, it'll be too much. No, it'll be fine. Eventually, I caved in. We went to see the film. As soon as the credits roll, my dad turns to me and goes, that was far too much. And I said, you know, it was about a man with a sex addiction. What did you think was going to happen? And he said, I thought he'd get better. And there was one moment in that film which changed my relationship with my father forever. I think for the better. Now there's no discomfort, nothing we can't talk about, no experience we can't share because of one scene in the film Shame. Now, there is a scene where Michael Fassbender, who plays the lead character, is having sex with a lady. Now, Fassbender has already, within minute one, brandished his penis. And let me tell you, it is an impressive instrument. Like, he can bend some serious fass with that thing, right? It is absolutely terrifying, right? So there's a scene where he's having sex with this woman, and I'm trying to explain this in a classy way, right? She is against a window, and he's behind her, but it's not the butt one. But it looks like it might be, but it isn't. Right? And she's up against this window, and he's just behind her, having not the butt one, but it looks like it might be, but it isn't, right? I believe that's the technical position name in the Kama Sutra, right? So, he's behind her, and he's just having sex with her. Classic stuff, right? I'm trying to be as classy as possible here, people. Now, the thing that marked Shame out as an early example of what Steve McQueen has gone on to do in 12 Years a Slave is that it has lots of long, unbroken takes. Like, he likes to involve the viewer and make you physically uncomfortable. That's one of his traits as a director, right? So in this case, it is just sex and nothing on this massive screen, and it just goes on and on and on for like 3, 4, 5 minutes, and I'm just sat next to my poor father, and he's just getting more and more uncomfortable, and it's just going on, and my dad is squirming in his seat. He's so uncomfortable, and it just goes on and on and on, just sex and then a view of Manhattan, and just on and on and on, just sex and then a view of Manhattan, and just on and on and on. And after, I don't know, 25 minutes of this, my dad, something must have just broken in his head, because he just turned to me and went, I've been there. And all I could think was, I hope he means that part of New York, because...
This sketch is called Whimsical French Woman in a Film, written by a man who's never met a woman. Kick your shoes off, Thomas. Come on, just kick them off.
Sandrine, so shoes are absolutely essential.
Hey, why do we even wear shoes anyway, huh? They just a stupid little cage for our feet.
I wear shoes every day, and it's always...
Hey, Thomas!
Yeah?
Let's go to the station.
Yeah.
Let's just get a train going anywhere. I don't care which way. even backwards. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Yep. So could I just nip for the gents?
Yes, okay.
We've been drinking coffee frankly all day.
I don't have a job.
Yeah, I noticed that. So do you need to go as well, darling?
No, I don't really go.
Oh. Sorry, darling. I think you meant to say I don't need to go.
No, I mean I don't really go. I'm not like the other girls, I guess.
Well, I know that, darling, but even beautiful
Why would
women...
I lie?
I don't know.
Why would I lie about this?
At this point, I don't... I'm out of my
I
depth.
go in,
Yeah.
I sit down,
Okay.
I wait.
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay, sometimes if I really push,
Yeah.
then little bubbles. Little bubbles is coming out.
Sorry.
I'm like, wow, okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I did not ask for this.
Sorry.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry. Sandrine,
Yes.
you are truly remarkable. But it is actually bulls. Just, you know, you...
Teach me, Thomas. I really want to learn from you.
Okay, and do you know what, darling? You nearly had it. It's simply butt balls. Can you hear the difference
Yes.
there? So butt balls.
Bubbles. Oh
No.
no, I'm doing it wrong.
No, it's so it's
Dance
just
with me, Thomas. Dance with me in the rain. Come on, follow me.
Okay. Is this
Come on, Thomas, get your dick out.
So I have 2 children, and my 2 children, I believe, are a perfect example of how you can live in the same country, be raised by the same mother, different fathers. Don't judge me, but they have different fathers. Both their fathers are English. But my children are so wildly different to one another, they might as well be different nationalities. My son's a little English gentleman. My daughter is a mad Middle Eastern woman who moved in with us. We're not even sure where from. She just turned up one day with suitcases full of ground pistachio nuts, chopped coriander, ready to be freeze-dried. My boy's sense of humour is very, very British. He uses it to tear down authority, me. We were driving to Scotland when he was about 9 years old, and I said, darling, did you know when you try and suddenly teach your children something about the world, I'll tell you some knowledge, darling. I said, did you know they're going to ban smacking children in Scotland? And he went, oh, do you want to get a wallop in now before we cross the border? He has no time for my authority. That's a very British thing. He's just superior to me, even though we both had empires. That's a massive thing both my countries have in common, having an empire. And if you have any doubt of the residue of empire mentality in Iranians, you only need to look at a Persian cat. Have you seen a Persian cat? The big, fluffy, saucepan-faced admirals. And they walk around the street going, I had an empire, you know, from here to number 12 was all mine. Anyway, so my son was getting ready for bed. He's a little kid, he's about 7 or 8 years old, and I am trying to hurry him along. And I'm like, are you going to brush your teeth? And he didn't like my tone. I was like, no, I am British, you are a foreigner, you do not talk to me like that. And he said, I've got no idea, I'm not a soothsayer. I haven't got time for this, right? I'm a busy working single mother. And I said, don't be such a smart ass. And he did something very British. He said a funny thing that came into his head, and he took a gamble because he knew it might get him killed. He said, your ass is smarter, mummy, you can speak out of yours. If it's funny enough, you have to let them live, right? I'll say to my little girl, darling, shall we go upstairs and brush your teeth? You don't tell me what to do. You are not the boss of me, mummy, if that is your real name. Don't look at me like that, I kill you. Don't leave me, I love you. I rip out my heart for you, it means nothing. I tear out my eyeballs as a sacrifice to you, but all you say to me is, teeth, 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 why? her dad's from Salisbury.
Thank you for watching Soho Theatre on YouTube. Subscribe now for more best comedy.